In Renegade Immortal, also known as Xian Ni, Wang Lin's lifelong love and emotional anchor is Li Muwan, his wife and the woman who represents his eternal obsession. But what many fans may not realize is that Wang Lin's first woman was not Li Muwan, it was Liu Mei. Liu Mei, an inner disciple of the Xuan Dao Sect, was born with a single water spirit root, a rare gift that made her exceptionally beautiful and irresistibly charming. Her appearance alone could stir the heart of any man, and her eyes seemed to carry a mysterious allure that few could resist. Even Wang Lin, cold, ruthless, and emotionally guarded, could not help but be affected when he first laid eyes on her. For a time, many believed Liu Mei would be the main female lead of Renegade Immortal, but her story took a very different and ultimately tragic turn. Their first meeting took place during an exchange event between the Hengyue sect and the Xuan Dao Sect. At that time, Liu Mei immediately noticed something unusual about Wang Lin. Though she was moved, she quickly composed herself. Yet that single moment marked the beginning of her fixation. As a proud leader among her peers in the Xuan Dao Sect, Liu Mei had always relied on her natural allure. Rarely did any man remain unaffected by her presence. But Wang Lin, though briefly dazed, regained his composure faster than anyone ever had. That moment, a seemingly ordinary young man resisting her charm, piqued her interest deeply. However, due to the temporal distortion caused by the Tianyi Pearl, Liu Mei perceived Wang Lin as merely a third-level qi condensation cultivator. From her perspective, there was nothing extraordinary about him, until she witnessed his strength in a match against Zhou Peng. It was then that her surprise turned into quiet intrigue. From that moment on, she began to secretly pay attention to this seemingly insignificant yet truly unfathomable young man. Later, when fate brought them together again in Yueming Valley, Wang Lin had already stepped into the extreme realm, his cultivation reaching new depths. His progress left the other disciples in shock, all except Liu Mei. She didn't say a word. She simply looked deeply into his eyes and handed him a token, quietly acknowledging his strength. Her gaze lingered longer than it should have, and though silent, it spoke volumes. After Wang Lin's physical body was destroyed by Teng Huayuan, Liu Mei and Pu Nanzi returned to the Xuan Dao Sect. Strangely, Wang Lin stayed in her thoughts. The impression he had made didn't fade. Instead, it grew stronger with time, especially in the quiet hours of the night. Eventually, moved by a feeling she herself could not fully understand, Liu Mei asked Pu Nanzi to accept Wang Lin as a disciple of the Xuan Dao Sect. Though Wang Lin was unaware of her effort, this was the only way she could help him. She wasn't in love with him then, but she already harbored emotions that were quietly evolving. However, the truth about Liu Mei was far more complex. The Liu Mei in Zhao State was not the real Liu Mei. She was merely one among countless avatars created by the original. The true Liu Mei cultivated a powerful and terrifying technique known as the Thousand Illusions Ruthless Dao. To perfect it, she needed to devour the reincarnation domain of life and death, and the avatar in Zhao State had set its sights on Wang Lin for this purpose. But Wang Lin at the time had not yet reached the great perfection of the spirit transformation stage. So Liu Mei waited. She lingered near the forest of death, not just to attack, but to leave a shadow in Wang Lin's Tao heart. But Wang Lin had already seen through her plan. Although he did not want to make an enemy of her, knowing her strength and danger, the situation eventually reached a breaking point. When war erupted on the Suzaku Star, Liu Mei finally attempted to devour Wang Lin's Tao heart. The two clashed violently. Wang Lin responded with a move prepared specifically for her, the evil artistic conception of the third ancestor of the Immortal clan. Its purpose was to shatter her Thousand Illusions Ruthless Dao. But something unexpected happened. In a twist of fate, Wang Lin accidentally transformed her cultivation method from the Ruthless Dao into the Thousand Illusions Lustful Dao. And in that critical moment, the two lost their virginity to one another. For Liu Mei, Wang Lin's image was forever imprinted in her heart. Not long after, she discovered she was pregnant with his child. In a painful act of revenge and desperation, Liu Mei used the child in her womb as a vessel, sacrificing it for 100 years to create a resentful infant. A twisted weapon crafted to one day be used against Wang Lin. Her story did not end there. Later, Liu Mei encountered Huan Wuqing, the ancestor of the Huan family in the Luotian star domain. Huan Wuqing saw Liu Mei's Dao as an opportunity, one he could exploit to complete his own cultivation method, the formless heavenly demon Dao. To that end, he adopted her, renamed her Huan Mei, and plotted to devour her Dao. Though Liu Mei was fully aware of his sinister intentions, she was powerless to resist. After all, Huan Wuqing was already a cultivator in the terrifying second step of cultivation. When Wang Lin later confronted the Huan family, the two met once more. Liu Mei released the resentful infant she had created to attack Wang Lin. Upon discovering the truth of what she had done, sacrificing their child, Wang Lin experienced a rage unlike any before. His killing intent toward Liu Mei peaked. Though Liu Mei was rescued by Huan Wuqing during this confrontation, Wang Lin's fury had reached a level of madness. He nearly annihilated the entire Huan family single-handedly. To prevent total destruction, Huan Wuqing struck a deal with Liu Mei. He devoured her artistic conception, allowing him to advance in his formless heavenly demon Dao. With that, Liu Mei's cultivation method achieved only a minor success, not enough to save her. In the end, she was still no match for Wang Lin. Liu Mei was defeated and eventually devoured by the scattered demons. Yet before her death, she left behind an elixir to dissolve the resentment within the resentful infant, a final act of atonement. Liu Mei's life was filled with contradictions and sorrow. She was powerful, cunning, and charming, but she also loved deeply, albeit too late. Her technique, the Thousand Illusions Ruthless Dao, was shattered by the very feelings she had tried to suppress. Her identity as Huan Mei, her tragic ending, and her eventual death all stemmed from a single, fateful entanglement with Wang Lin. And in a final twist, it was revealed that the real Liu Mei was only the 9th clone of Kunxu Saint Mu Bingmei. So tell me, fellow cultivators, what do you make of Liu Mei's tragic fate? Was it karmic justice or simply the sorrow of a woman who fell in love too late? Liu Mei's story is one of beauty, power, ambition, and ultimately heartbreak. From a woman who once captivated all who saw her, to a cultivator who fell victim to love, betrayal, and destiny, her journey reminds us that even the strongest hearts can be shattered by the weight of emotion. What do you think of Liu Mei's transformation and downfall? Do you see her as a villain, a victim, or something far more complex? If you enjoyed this deep dive into Renegade Immortal, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more powerful breakdowns of your favorite characters, stories, and worlds. Until next time, stay on the path of cultivation, and remember, every obsession has its price.